Hi, hi everybody. My name's Tiffany Stevens. I'm really honored to be the guest host on the Quantum Alignment show tonight. My first time hosting, so a new experience for me, and I hope that I'm going to be bringing you a new experience as well. I am a 5-1 generator with an open throat, so being given the place to speak this evening, and sometimes I ramble a little, so I'm going to try and keep myself on track. What I want to share with you tonight is some information through the lens of human design, where I'm going to talk to you about our spiritual calling, the fulfillment of the soul purpose, and touching on where we might find that information within the chart. So I'm going to talk for a little while and share that information with you. And then we're going to move on in the second part into a more experiential experience where we will be using a modality called Saphire Imagery, and it comes from a Kabbalistic lineage. I have been taught by the lineage keeper. And it's a method of looking inside for information. So we're going to do a little bit of a left-brained chatting and sharing of information so that you know where to find this information in a more logical way on your chart. And then we're going to look inside to see what information your inside world gives you. And your homework will be to go and see whether what your inside shows you matches with what the gates in your various planets are all about. So hopefully that's how it's all going to work, and you'll have some inner revelations. So let's just start by looking at what is soul and life purpose. So in human design, oh, someone's saying you can't hear me. Let me just try that. I think I'm up as much as I can. Is that a little better if I sit nearer?
Yeah, I was hearing you all right.
Oh, okay. Okay. So in human design, our life path and purpose is revealed in the gates on the design side of our chart. So if you're new to human design, then that is the red numbers. And these energies, if you look at everything as energy within the chart, energies and archetypes, I like to look at them as. These lead us to experiences that we need in order to be able to fulfill our soul purpose. So when we explore the gates and archetypes or energies in the design side of our charts, that's going to give us a little map really of what we may need to live and experience in order to be able to fulfill our soul purpose, which is revealed to us on the personality side of our chart, which is the black numbers. Now, a little interesting addition to this is that we get given our life story through our design crystal. And our design crystal is called forth out of the earth by our father at the time of our conception. And this is why it's called a design crystal, because it's connected with the design side of the chart. Our personality crystal is our soul plan, and this gets called forth at birth. So sometimes there can be a little bit of confusion that we think the personality relates to the body, when actually the personality in human design, these energies relate to our soul. So I'm just going to put that in there because I was really confused for a long time when I was learning human design. So design is our body and our life path, and the personality is our soul plan and our soul purpose and path. And we're going to look at these through the imagery in a little while. So in terms of life and soul purpose, we look at the sun gate energies. They're the top two in our chart. So on both the design and personality sides of the chart, we see what we're here to put out into the world. So our sun energies are all about what we're here to put out. And then below that, we have the earth energies. And these gates or energies are what we receive in order to ground us and to support us in the fulfillment of our purpose. So these four energies work together. You might want to make a little note here. What am I to put out or offer to the world? So make yourself a little question there. You may get the answer through your imagery later on. And then the second question you might want to write is, what am I here to receive? So these four energies make up our incarnation cross. And these give us the plot line or storyline of what we're here to live out. And the incarnation cross energies don't fully get lived out until between 38 to 42. And we only really fully get to live these out if we're in alignment and following our strategy. So as a reminder, following the strategy for your type enables you to live out and approach life in a way that is correct for you. And your type is your role in life. It's what you're here to do. So again, you might want to, through this lens, ask yourself the question, what am I here to do? And go back and look at the strategy and what your type is here to do. And that forms a part of this overall picture. So I'm going to paint piece by piece what from the chart perspective, what the life and soul purpose is all about. And these are all the little pieces as we go along. So the archetypes of our profile also give us a strategy of how we learn and how we be in the world. So this is our character in life. Our profile is our character and how we go about being in the world. So again, you may want to ask yourself, who am I here to be? And then looking at the lines of your profile, that gives a little answer to the question from the left brain perspective. So we've got what you're here to do, what you're here to be as part of these pieces. And then we add on to that. So we've got the storyline through the incarnation cross, through the sun and earth energies. And then you have the gates and energies of Neptune. And Neptune is 2 from the bottom on your list of planets there. So next to the numbers, you've got all of the planetary symbols, just in case you're not aware of that in your chart. So you have Pluto at the bottom. We're not going to be meeting Pluto today, but Neptune is just above that, the little kind of trident symbol. And Neptune, the energies of Neptune will show you what is your spiritual purpose and path. And just above Neptune, we have Uranus. And this tells you the purpose of your soul. And a question here you might want to ask, what does my soul want me to do so I may best serve the world? That sounds quite big question. Again, piece by piece, we're going to explore through the imagery. But I really want to set the scene of understanding from the human design perspective and what we can find in the chart. So there's so much information here in this lovely blueprint and map that we get from our chart. So the presentation was inspired by spiritual calling, and that was for me the trigger for me wanting to present what I'm presenting to you today. Now, our spiritual calling is a service that is greater than you, and at the same time is unique to you. It's something that calls you from deep, deep within. When we incarnate on earth, we are coming with a soul contract, a sacred contract of what we're here to fulfill. And this is our spiritual calling. This is what we are, why we are here. The big question, why we are here. We're here to fulfill this sacred soul contract and our spiritual calling. Now, it may not be a career calling. It may be a service, but not for money. It may be how you be rather than what you do. Or it could be something, doing something extraordinary. So I find that we can get really hooked up on, what we do in the world in terms of our work is our spiritual calling or our soul purpose, but often it's not. Our spiritual calling could be to give flowers to your neighbor every day, or anything. It could be absolutely anything. That you're here for a purpose of some kind. And again, as I say, we will explore some of this through our imagery today. So as I said at the beginning, our life path energies are guiding us through this earth walk and leading us towards our fulfillment of our soul purpose. And when we get off track, when we're not following our strategy, when we're not in alignment with our authentic selves, when we get a little bit lost in the world, then things that we could call chaos cycles appear. And these cycles nudge us, or sometimes even shock us back into alignment. These can be quite shocking events, almost as extreme as near-death experiences, depending on what kind of jolt we need, or they can be simple small lessons. But they're things that sometimes can feel that when things are falling apart, that they're actually what we need, exactly what we need to grow and evolve. So I'd invite you to explore challenges in life as opportunities to grow and evolve. It's not to be stuck in lessons, but if something's really dramatically making us change course, then this may be a big soul or evolutionary shakeup that we're experiencing. And it helps us to navigate those times a little easier as well. So in addition to all of this, there are things that we need to learn and master in order to fulfill our purpose. And we find this through the lessons of Saturn. And Saturn is just above Uranus. So we're going up the chart. And then we have what we need to master in Chiron. Now, Chiron isn't in the chart, but because it doesn't create definition in your human design, it doesn't show up on the traditional human design charts. But if you have a quantum human design chart, then you'll find your Chiron is between Uranus and Saturn. So just so you know where to find these characters. And I really do see them as characters. So here we might ask ourselves, with Saturn, what am I here to learn? And with Chiron, what am I here to master? As I said before, these are all little pieces of our jigsaw to map out what our soul and life purpose is. We can feel a pressure to be fulfilling our purpose. It's a little bit of a cliche, but really life is a journey. If there is a destination, then it's fulfilling the soul purpose and being of service through our spiritual calling. And this, for me, it's really, we can almost want to run before we can walk. And there are various cycles of life that we must go through in order to fully grow and evolve, so we can really live out this soul purpose and this spiritual calling. And by living these cycles, this enables us to experience all that life has to offer us on this earth walk. So I put this in here because sometimes it can feel like a race to the finish. We've got to get there. But actually, we have to live life. We have to live these cycles. They all have an important part in our growth. So I'm going to very briefly just talk about life cycles. And then we're going to move on to the more experiential part. So in brief, between birth and 40, there are various stages that we must go through. Most importantly, we're in this early phases. I mean, 40 doesn't sound early, and if you're younger than 40, it might feel like eternity even to get there. But during these earlier phases, we're learning who we are. We're learning who we are in our individuality. We're finding our uniqueness. And there may be a need to go away from our family to really understand this, to understand who we are away from the conditioning of our parents, of our family, of our community. And from 28 to 40, specifically, this is called individuating. So in this phase, you're creating your own security, you're building your own life separate from your family. And this is a crucial part of your life cycle, and where you truly create independence, or create true independence, whichever way you want to word that. During this phase, you're going to have your first Saturn return, when the lessons of Saturn, or certainly the influences of the gates of Saturn in your chart, are going to have a much deeper influence. And you may see that what happens in your life around your Saturn return really reflects what you're here to learn in terms of the gates that are in your Saturn on your chart. And then at 40, the North and South nodes switch dominance. Between 38 to 42, you will also have your Uranus opposition. And this is also around the time of your incarnation cross storyline kicking in. So there's a lot happening at this time. From birth to 40, the South Node themes, known as youthful expression, will have a bigger influence in your life and will be playing out as a background theme. And the South Node is the horseshoe shape that is with the loop facing downwards, and the two bits coming up. And the North Node is above that, below the moon. So that you know where those energies are in your chart. So from 40 onwards, the North Node themes become the influencing theme. And this is now moving you towards soul purpose and intention. So you can see there's an essence of finding out who you really are, really discovering your uniqueness and setting yourself up in life. And then at 40, we're beginning to move towards that soul purpose. We're stepping into our storyline. There's a new theme in life with the North Node. So it's really exciting if we can embrace all of these cycles. So from 40 to 50, there is the cycle is known as self-actualizing. And this is where we really start to see the emergence of our cosmic self, our more spiritual self. This is the wake-up point of the soul's calling to really follow your soul purpose. And it's a time of new awakening, of meaning and purpose, and where you seek alignment with your authentic expression. And if we remember that around this time of 38 to 42, you've got your Uranus opposition. Uranus is the great awakener. And then from 50 to 58, we're moving into integrating the soul purpose, as well as mastering our Chiron energies. Our Chiron return happens between 48 to 52. And this will be a soul challenge if you're born before 1978, and will form part of your soul and spiritual purpose if you're born after 1978, which is when Chiron was discovered. And then finally, 58 onwards, we move into the final phase. So you can see we really need to walk through life for some time before we're moving really truly into this fulfillment phase. So around this time, we will have our second Saturn return to really make sure that we're back on track. And sometimes the lessons can be a little more shocking the second time round if we're still off course. And this is known as the phase of unification. In this cycle, we're surrendering to our cosmic self. We're surrendering to the fulfillment of this soul contract, of this sacred contract that we've come with, and to the fulfillment of our spiritual calling and service. We're looking to fulfill our soul purpose so that we can serve in the best way that we can. So it's about service, and not necessarily what career we are doing. So in this phase, we may ask, am I genuinely fulfilling my purpose? So that's really all I want to look at in terms of the external information. It shows you hopefully like a whirlwind tour of where to find these pieces within your chart. And Karen does wonderful life cycle classes and soul and life purpose classes. So if you're new to this and want to know more about those parts, then Karen has those classes available. This is just a whistle stop tour of these parts of the chart. So now we're going to look at the themes that I've talked about and hopefully have a little bit more of an interactive experience as well. So I'm going to be inviting you to look within for some information. The process, as I say, is called Saphire Imagery, and this comes from an ancient Kabbalistic lineage. And it's known as the way of inner revelation or illumination. It's a way of seeing on the inside, and is known as the Kabbalah of Light. So far we've been using our left brains, but we're now going to switch to the right brain. And it's very simple. So in a moment, I will invite you to sit comfortably with your legs uncrossed, unless you're sitting in lotus position. And you'll be doing this imagery work with your eyes closed. I'll then guide you through a series of exercises, and we'll have some check-in, or you can put the feedback in the chat of what you saw or experienced. And then we'll see what your inside world reveals to you. So we're going to park the left brain. Don't worry about what the chart says, what these gates mean. For the purpose of this, we don't need to know. But hopefully what your inner world reveals to you is going to give you some insight when you look at the gates in your chart. So I'm hoping that's what's going to happen for you. So this is where we get information from inside. Now, although it's called imagery, the inner world generally speaks in images, but please don't get hung up on seeing. And especially depending on how you're defined in your spleen, that can also have an impact on how you receive information. So the the spleen invokes all of the clairs, as I call them, the clairaudience and the clairsentience, and so on. So even if I say see, this means see, sense, feel, and know. To receive, opening yourself to receive the information in whichever way it wants to show itself to you. So really stepping into the place of trust, that what comes up and is revealed is what you need to see. And at this point, I would ask you or invite you not to analyze what you see. Sometimes it's very clear and you go, wow, okay, yep, that makes total sense to me. And sometimes, you know, I may say, look at whatever it is, and you see a giraffe, and you've got absolutely no idea why you saw a giraffe, but don't worry about it. We're not here to analyze that right now. Everything will be revealed in the fullness of time if it's not clear within your imagery right now. And I will also be available at any point after this presentation if people have questions or want to know more about this process as well, or what you've seen and how that works with the more left brain stuff. So by using this practice, we're accessing the world within us that no one else has. And this is our own creative, fertile void that's unique to us. This is the source of all creation that is within you, and your source of creativity and revelation. And so we're all from the same creative source that we might call God or creator or the universe or whatever other name you give to that source of life. But we are, and we are all creators and creation. And so it's from this source that our spiritual calling emanates. So let's get on to the exciting part. I'd like to guide you through a couple of preparatory experiences just to help you to switch brains and to give you a little idea of how imagery works. And then we'll dive into the human design themed exercises. So if I can ask you to sit comfortably with your legs uncrossed, as I say, unless you're sitting in lotus position. And just close your eyes. I'm going to invite you to watch your breathing. So with this practice, just watch your breathing and allow your breathing to find its own rhythm. We're not trying to change anything. We're not trying to breathe in a certain way. Forget any breathing techniques that you ever learned in life for this. And just allow your breathing to find its own rhythm in this moment. And then bring your awareness deeper down into your body to the level of your heart. And breathe from the level of your heart. And just allow your breathing to find its own rhythm. You may find that the rhythm at the heart is different from the previous rhythm. Just let your breathing find its own rhythm. And then we're going to bring our awareness deeper down into the body to the level of the lower abdomen. And breathing from the level of your lower abdomen, just allow your breathing to find its own rhythm. Again, you may find that the breathing at this level is different from the breathing at the other levels, or the rhythm is different. From the level of the lower abdomen, expand your awareness to the edges of your skin, and then expand your awareness beyond the edges of your skin. Now I'm going to ask you to breathe out slowly 3 times. Now with the imagery breathing, with the first breath out, you see the number 3. With the second breath out, you see the number 2. And with the third breath out, you see the number 1. So breathing out slowly 3 times, see the numbers, see the 3, then the 2, and the 1. And see the 1 tall, clear, and bright. And now see yourself in a beautiful meadow on a sunny day. And take a look around, feeling the ground beneath your feet, feeling the air on your skin, and the sun shining down upon you. You may see in your meadow that there is a tree, or if there is more than one tree, go to the one that attracts you the most. Breathing out, take a seat under the tree and lean your back against the tree trunk with your knees bent and your feet on the ground. Really feel the support of the trunk behind your back and start to breathe with the tree. So become aware of the cycle and relationship between you and the tree. As you're breathing out your carbon dioxide, the tree is breathing that in and giving you oxygen, which you're then inhaling. And just experience this cycle, this symbiotic relationship with nature, of breathing with the tree. And really taking in that beautiful oxygen. And as you breathe, you should hopefully feel more replenished. So now I invite you to breathe out and get up and step away from the tree. And turn around and look at your tree. Notice if anything has changed in the tree or within you. If the tree looks depleted in any way, then go to the small river nearby and take a container of water and water the tree. And step back and see what happens. And you continue until you're satisfied with how the tree looks. If the tree is looking healthy and fine, then there's nothing to do. And you can step away from the tree and then breathe out and open your eyes. So this is more of a visualized exercise. And the other ones, I'm not going to tell you what to see. I'm going to let your inner world show you. But it'd be interesting to just know if anyone wants to comment on their experience with that exercise and with the imagery before we move on to the delving of our soul and life purpose exercises.
Jen said some of my tree leaves turned royal blue. Sean said I was in a dry savanna and the river was far away.
Okay, so I'm just going to see, was that Jen was the first? How I would like to know how the royal blue felt. Because, sorry, I've just dropped something on the floor. I'd like to know how it felt, because this is all about feeling as well. Magical, wonderful, that's lovely. And Sean, were you able to get the water? Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, there's so many. I'll leave the chat commentary to you, Cindy, because I'm reading them quickly. And
Well, just to bring in some of the people that were on Facebook also, because they are commenting over there. Nita said, like, getting smaller and getting into the tree trunk actually. Courtney said, I currently feel peaceful. The tree trunk was larger when I go up than when I sat down. Carol says, I was near a large willow that was located near a river, so its roots were well nourished.
Brilliant.
I want to make sure you have time for the next part of yours. But Maria said, my tree trunk turned dark, but the tree didn't seem depleted. I do like martins. I saw a giraffe. I've been thinking about creating a giraffe calligram lately. I thought that was cool.
Brilliant.
And Sean was commenting, she was the one in the savannah with the river far away that, yes, eventually she was able to water the tree.
Brilliant.
Stacy, I saw a figure of a face being formed to look over my tree. Now, I know that you have you're going to lead us in another part, correct?
Yes,
and
yeah.
Lots of lovely comments, though.
Brilliant. That's really lovely. Is there a way for me to get this chat afterwards, just in case anyone comes to me with any questions, so that I know
what you can also do is if you click on the chat, the three buttons, you see where it says to and download chat, the chat will download for you directly to your computer. And that's the same for everyone if you're on Zoom right now. And there are comments that you'll be able to look under the Facebook live stream too, Tiffany.
Oh, okay. I can't find those buttons. I'm semi-technical.
Okay, so I will send it to you after.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's why we didn't have slides today, folks, because I prefer using my right brain, not my left one. Okay, everyone's comments are really great, and it is about, with these exercises, how it feels to you. If it feels good, even if you don't understand the image, then that's a good result, or something that we want to experience. So really great, and it can make you feel relaxed. So it's a really simple practice that you can take away with you and do very simply. And the person who said they went inside the tree, that's actually an extension of the exercise where you can become the tree. So really, really lovely. Really, really lovely. Okay, so we're going to move on to seeing what our inside world shows us in terms of these parts of the chart that I was talking to you about. So I'm going to invite you to sit back again in your comfy seat with your eyes closed. And again, breathing out slowly 3 times. See the numbers. Seeing the 3, then the 2, and then the 1. And see the 1 tall, clear, and bright. See your design crystal coming out of the earth and taking up residence in your ajna center. Looking into your design crystal, what do you see? When you have seen, breathe out. And just open your eyes and make a quick note of what you saw, or just little reminder points. And then closing your eyes again, I'm going to ask you to breathe out once and see your personality crystal being called down at the time of your birth and taking up residence in your head center. Looking into your personality crystal, what do you see? And when you have seen, breathe out and open your eyes. And again, just make a quick note of what you saw or sensed or felt, or little reminder points. So I feel like we'll stay in the dream world, and I'll guide you through a few more exercises, and then you can put up your comments of what you saw for the various things, or the things that jumped out at you the most, and spend a bit more time on looking at those at the end. So once you've made your notes, close your eyes again. Breathe out slowly 3 times, seeing the numbers, seeing the 3, and then the 2 and the 1. Seeing the 1, tall, clear and bright. See yourself back in your beautiful meadow. The sun shining bright in the sky overhead. Reach up with one arm all the way to the sun and catch a sunbeam. And bringing that down, open the sunbeam in your hands like a scroll. And looking into your hands, into that scroll of the sun, see and live what you are meant to offer out into the world. When you have seen, with your palms still open, offer your hands up to the sun. And see what comes down into your hands. It may be an object, it may be something else. And when you have seen, breathe out, open your eyes and make a quick note of what you saw, or just little reminder words. So closing your eyes again, taking a breath out, seeing yourself still in your meadow. Take a seat on the ground, on the lush green grass, or lying down in the grass, whichever calls to you more. Feeling the earth beneath you. Breathe out and see and live that when you are receptive, all you need will be presented to you. And allow that information to come to you. On whatever way you need to see or experience in this moment. And then when you've seen and experienced, you can breathe out and open your eyes. Again, just making a note of your experience or what you saw. So for the next exercise, if you close your eyes, this time I'll ask you to breathe out slowly 3 times again, seeing the numbers. Seeing the 3, then the 2, and the 1. See the 1, tall, clear and bright. And now see in front of you Neptune, in whichever form he wants to show himself to you today. Take his hand and allow him to guide you along your spiritual path. as you walk with Neptune, what do you see, sense, feel, and experience? So thank Neptune for his guidance and revelation. Breathing out, open your eyes. Make a quick note of your experience. And then closing your eyes again. Breathing out once. See Uranus in front of you, in whichever form they want to show themselves to you. And looking into the eyes of Uranus, see your deepest, truest desire. See reflected in the eyes of Uranus what your soul truly desires. And then breathing out, open your eyes, make a very quick note of what you experienced or saw. And one more quick exercise before we finish. Closing your eyes. Breathe out slowly. And just see from within how each person is their own unique world. Look in the mirror in front of you and see what makes you unique. When you ask, what is my mission? What is my spiritual calling? What appears in the mirror? And when you have seen, breathe out and open your eyes. And again, just make a quick note, and then we can open to comments of anything that anyone wants to share or say from their experiences. Or I may have lost everyone in the dream world.
Oh, well, we have been getting comments on Facebook. They haven't really, so I'm scrolling back. They were okay. My design, Gwen says my design crystal was glowing green and had a dragonfly inside. Courtney with the design crystal was a purple cloud. She felt love. Gwen went on to say her personality crystal was crystal clear like a diamond, but it shed the same multicolored twinkling lights as my tree. And when I looked inside, I saw gold nuggets, gold coins, and gold flakes.
Lovely.
Do you want some of the ones on? Oh, let's see. Sean says Uranus was gold with kaleidoscope eyes. Age, a clarion awakening others to collective transcendental experience. Sunny, my spiritual calling is to nurture the neglected. Maria, my personality crystal was a dark green emerald.
Lovely.
Kimberly shared, it's 116 in Las Vegas. She was going to relax indoors instead of outdoors. Gwen shared that Neptune was the first planet, icy cold, dark, and then transformed into a giant otter who led her to the ocean and then took the form of a beluga whale who I swam with by holding onto the fins. And Uranus was a fire, and its core, she saw love, freedom, and desire. And she was told to trust, to receive, and saw in the mirror herself draped in a regal cloak with a golden crown on her head.
Brilliant.
Nita said, maybe I was looking for an animal, so I saw bear, cloud, sea, truth, peace, and a smile, crowd and relief, sun, a yellow light, and peace. The mirror showed confidence. But Nita must have really been in the dream world because she can't remember exactly what she was looking at with all those images. And Trina shared, Neptune led me to a super high cliff looking down on an ocean. And Sean said there was there was a lot of love everywhere. And Jen said, Ajna, the yellow design crystal had a koala head, the pink personality crystal, desert scroll, a lighthouse with greenery, lying down, holding people. Neptune was sure gripped to climb up a slow, steep mountain for perspective. Uranus, patience, mission, a safer place. And I'm watching the time. We have about 1 minute now. Did you have something to share with our listeners?
What I would like to say is allow the images to present whatever you need to know on a deeper level. As I said before, we don't need to analyze them. You can, if you're wanting to use your left brain with this, see how when you explore the gate energies of these planets, how that marries with the images, or how you feel inside about what your spiritual calling is. I purposely haven't plugged anything business-wise because that's not the way I operate. Kind of just allow things to come to me. But what I will say is that I am available to answer anyone's questions. If people want to email me, then I don't know if my email address is anywhere, but it's tiffanystevens7@gmail.com. And I offer life and soul purpose readings from a human design perspective. I also run workshops. They're more like experiential days than workshops. I haven't found a better word. Called Who Am I Becoming, which we look much deeper into our soul purpose and soul remembrance and other things. And I run those on demand, online and in person. So if that's something that people want to explore more deeply, then that's also available. And I run imagery sessions as well. If people are interested more in working with imagery work. But really go away and have fun and embody and allow the magic of the images to work through you would be the message that I leave with everybody.
So much, Tiffany. And the email is under the Facebook post and also posted in the chat. Thank you again. That was beautiful imagery. And Sean says this is the best advice.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for this experience. It's a little strange doing it when it's such an interactive process. So it's been lovely to see the comments. A little strange not to discuss it, but yeah, thank you very, very much for the opportunity, and thank you everybody for coming and taking part and trying something new. I really hope it's been a good experience for everybody.